Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube video. My name is Kayla Rundle, and no, I am not in a winter wonderland. I am underneath the undercarriage of my E30 that I'm working on, and as you can tell, it is completely sprayed in white right now, which I know you might think I'm a little crazy to spray my car in white, but I clean my car a lot. And this is a protective spray, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly the entire process on how I got this done. Alright, for this white undercarriage I ended up choosing the Raptor protective coating, and these come in a million different colors. As you can see here, it has a rainbow. I chose white, and it also comes with a hardener. You can get these kits on Amazon or from Napa Auto Parts, and they also have these in aerosol cans. So I ended up buying 2 aerosol cans in white from Napa Auto Parts, and then I got 2 of these kits from Amazon. It was 3 times the amount of paint that I thought I was gonna use, so fair warning if you guys are spraying your bed liner or your entire car, you're gonna need a lot of this paint, and it kind of gets pricey, but it's worth it because it's going to save my butt in the future. The easiest part is painting the vehicle, but you just mix these 2 together and put it in the gun that you will see later in this video and sprayer. Most difficult part about this is the prep per usual. So yes, I did have to strip this entire car down to the bare metal chassis. I did keep all the wiring, which I did end up masking. So I removed all the suspension components, the engine, most of the harness, but there was still a lot of the wires throughout the chassis that I just left because I will be reusing those wires. And I ended up removing these inner fenders. They are beautiful and black that I ended up spraying black so they look brand new. I also had to remove this whole overflow tank area, and this comes off as well. It's a plastic piece that covers the lines that feed to the overflow tank, and that is all tucked up in here, which I discovered. I didn't know all that stuff was gonna be there. That was probably the worst part to take off just because it was absolutely disgusting. This is the tube that feeds to the gas tank, which I also had to remove. The gas tank is over here for now, and I think I'm going to try my best to restore this gas tank, but it is actually in quite good condition compared to the other pictures that I have seen for E30 gas tanks. Most of them are completely rusted out. I am planning on reusing the stock gas tank, but I am gonna do all new hoses for where the gas flows and all new fuel lines. I believe they're 5/8 or 3/8 inch lines. I don't know. I want to do all new lines because I don't like all the old rubber lines that are everywhere and the cracking, and then in the Arizona heat, we want the fuel contained where it's supposed to be because that can lead to fires. I also removed the rear sway bar entire subframe, but I will be upgrading those with brand new bushings coming soon. I got the track spec blue bushings from Garagistic for the entire car, and I will be making a video on that soon using this bushing kit I got from Amazon. So I'll be removing the bushings, repainting all the subframes, and putting brand new bushings back in before putting it all back together, which will not be in this video. The most important part of this entire process, obviously if you are re-spraying it, it's probably because it is disgusting. So you have to properly prep it, and I did use a container called Spot Knot, which I will grab. I ended up using this Spot Knot, and it does say right here, danger, poison. So that means it's not safe, but that means it cleans very, very, very well, and it smells horrible. So I do recommend, if you guys end up buying Spot Knot from Superior Image, I will have the links all in the description of this video for all these products, by the way. It's very aggressive and it is not diluted whatsoever, so I highly recommend a gas mask, gloves, full eye protection and everything, because you do not want it to get on your skin. It is very unsafe. And I ended up putting a little bit of that chemical into a spray foam gun and just foamed up the entire bottom of the chassis, scrubbed it with a thick brush, and pressure washed every square inch of the chassis with my Kranzla setup from Obsessed Garage, and it got most of the dirt and grime off of the chassis. I was also recommended to use alcohol to clean the chassis, but alcohol for some reason was not working on my chassis, and all the grime was not budging with just the alcohol. You also want to use alcohol after you clean it, just so there's no oil and grease still in your car, so then that the coating will be able to grip nicely onto the new surface. After I cleaned the chassis, I did end up using a die grinder like this one here, and I also use this in the engine bay before I shave the engine bay. I use this with a million wire wheels. I probably went through a good 15 of these. I got a ton of these from Harbor Freight and Napa Auto Parts. This thing's great. And I also, if you guys want to make your life easier, you probably could get like a 90-degree one instead of just the straight angle one as well. But I just got this from Cobalt at Lowe's. Great tool for the money, very affordable, amazing product. It's a workhorse for sure. Also, prepare yourself with protective mask and everything. Just know that the seam sealer flings and gets completely all over the garage and is an absolute mess and gets in your hair and skin and in your nose and ears, and it is very, very messy. This is the end result, and before I ended up shaving the engine bay, I ended up using a hammer on my brand new coating and like hitting out the metal because I didn't finish the metal work on the other side. So I messed up the coating. I'm probably going to respray the fender areas since I have another bottle of the Raptor Liner spray, and I might just re-prep this and respray it. I'm done for body work for now since I've been doing body work for a month straight. Once you finish the die grinder, I recommend, if you guys have an air compressor, because obviously you're gonna need an air compressor for when you paint the car. This is the air compressor I have over here. It's like probably older than me and it's very, very loud, but it gets the job done. So I just quickly sprayed off the entire chassis, so none of that seam sealer is going to be stuck underneath our paint and make it chip down the road. Next up, you do have to mask the chassis. This part really sucks, but I use lots of blue tape, and this is like 3M automotive masking tape, and then just blue tape. Blue tape's is slightly more sticky, and I ended up pulling paint in some areas that I didn't want to. Oops. The green tape's not as sticky, and it's great for automotive. Just depends what you're taping and what works best for you. I used tape on every square inch that I did not want the paint to go through the plastics. Oh, for the plastic, I went to a local paint shop, and it's by High Tech that I got. This ended up being 30 bucks, I believe. Don't follow me. And the really small rolls of plastic were 15. This is 16 foot by 350 feet. So it was just easier to buy the bigger roll of plastic. Since I was there, this is what it looks like. It unrolls and folds out 16 foot wide. It is a lot of plastic and it's great. You definitely want to get a ton of plastic because the paint goes everywhere in the garage, including anything else in the garage that's even like 30 feet away, including things that are outside of your driveway. I did spray this in my garage, and yes, it does have ventilation, and yes, it is completely safe and legal. So I had to protect everything in the garage. I had to cover up the Porsche in the plastic. I had to cover up the BMW in the plastic. For the undercarriage, I just kind of created a little cocoon of plastic down to the ground because that was the easiest way to mask it. Instead of masking the whole garage, I just masked myself in a cage basically and sprayed in that cage. I used tape around every square inch of the fender wells, and then I just put plastic on top of the engine bay, and it worked out well. I highly recommend to mask off any areas that any bolts or screws are going in, and bolt off any threads, and bolt off any areas that are leading towards the interior of the car, since you are spraying an area that leads to the interior of the car with a lot of holes everywhere. And you don't want this undercoating spray on the exterior of your paint because it is actually really hardy and it is very, very difficult to get off. I have been at grinding down the engine bay, prepping the entire underside of this car all day, and I've had a mask on all day, so don't mind the looks. And I just covered in the previous undercarriage spray. But I want to show you guys the materials I'm using for this new spray. I got this Raptor liner spray that I've seen a lot of reviews on for other creators using it. And I just got one kit because on the side it says that it covers a 8-foot long bed. So the car's about that. So I'm hoping it'll basically cover the whole underside of the car. And I got it in white, which some of you might think I'm crazy that I'm spraying the whole underside of my car white, but I am. This is what it looks like. This bottle's only filled up to like here. And then the other kit comes with a hardener bottle. And so you literally just pour this hardener into this and shake it up really, really good. And I also purchased this Raptor Schultz spray gun, if that's how you say it. And I actually also ordered like a gauge so I can control the PSI better, because they say that it's better to control the PSI on this by the gun rather than changing your air compressor. It has a little gun, and these are really cheap, so if it gets clogged, which I've seen a lot of people have issues with that, then you can just throw it away and get a new one, or you can just, you know, try to clean it while you're doing it, but probably just gonna throw it away when I'm done with it. But this bottle literally attaches right onto this. You screw it on and just spray wherever you need the job done. Just in case that spray doesn't go as far as I need it to, I did go to the store and get 2 aerosol can sprays of the Raptor bed liner as well, which is also in the white. And I've seen reviews on this actually sprays like a better texture than the air gun. So I'm gonna test both of them and see which actually sprays better. I'm hoping they're the same exact white, which they should be since they're from the exact same company. I lightly sprayed just a self-etching primer on the metal parts of the underside of the car. So I'm letting that dry first, and then I'm gonna go in with all of that. And be sure to mask everything off properly, which I've masked off literally the whole car. And so I'm gonna be putting this hoodie on like this and tightening it and wearing glasses and a gas mask. And I'm just gonna put gloves on and I'm gonna spray the whole car because I don't want paint all in my hair. Time to get geared up. I'm gonna turn on the air compressor and get to spraying. For all the accessories on the car, I ended up spraying it in a satin black. I went to my local paint store. This bottle was on sale for less than $5. I picked it up, but this is exactly what I used. Spruce satin black, like 9824. I don't know. Black. It's enamel. I might actually use this to coat the gas tank as well because the finish of the satin black ended up being absolutely gorgeous and it worked out really well and it laid down very smooth. I did not use any primer on any of the plastics for the accessories I used because it's just most paint and enamel sprays directly on plastic. So far it's holding up well and those plastic areas aren't retaining a ton of heat or abuse really, so I just wanted to freshen it up with a nice black, so that's what I used. So since I finished painting the whole underspray and resprayed all the plastic inner fenders and the overflow tank and the protective areas, then you have to reinstall all together and it's pretty simple. Just remember how you took it all off and put it back together. And you might be wondering why I actually chose white as the undercoating. Well, first off, I chose white because it matches the theme of my Civic and my Camaro, my other vehicles. Second off, I knew I wanted to spray white on the engine bay of the E30, so I wanted it to flow nicely somewhere and not be random. So having the undercarriage and the engine bay being the same color ended up looking great and blended very nicely together. And then 3, white is the easiest to spot any fluids on, like transmission fluid, differential fluid, engine oil, any sort of color fluid that gets on white. I will know directly what fluid got on the paint, and it'll help me solve future problems in the future. It'll help me solve future problems way faster since I'll know exactly what fluid is on the undercarriage. And this spray is also used on a ton of trucks and bed liners, and all you have to do is spray it off. Since it is a protective coating, you spray it off maybe with a quick soap and it completely cleans up like any other color. So I think white will look beautiful and mint. Maybe it's easier, but I detail a lot and I have Technic on my side for all my detailing product. I just know this car will be protected and cleaned properly all the time if it's in my hands. I absolutely love the results of this E30. I'm slowly going to be working through reinstalling everything else in the car because I want to be able to get this car rolling off the lift since I haven't been able to use this lift in the last 3 months for any of my other vehicles. But please guys, if you guys have any questions or concerns or advice for me, please leave it in the comment section down below because I'm here to learn and this was my first time ever doing an undercoating spray. Obviously, we won't really see the undercoating once everything is put back on the car. Now it is all protected for future abuse. I will have all the links down in the description of this video for all the products, all the paints, and everything I used in this video along with the tools and die grinder. Well, I hope you all have an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and stay tuned with the E30 on this channel. You guys can subscribe or turn the notifications bell on. This project is going to start moving fast at this point since all the body work is done, but I appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.